Rounds 9 and 10 of the Vodacom Sports Prototype Championship here at Zwartkops in Pretoria. And lots of pre-race gearbox problems as the competitors get ready for the first of the day's two races. Sponsors, of course, play a huge role in motorsport, and giving impetus to the efforts of title contender Donovan ROSCOE are the people of Optimum Racing Developments.
Now, what does it mean for Optimum to be involved in the VSPs?
It is for us a very good step into the racing industry, where we also want to see ourselves supplying parts to the racing industry in such a way, like carbon fiber parts, engineering parts and stuff like that. And for us, that's obviously the best way to get into it.
Is it a big business in South Africa, supplying parts to racing cars?
I'm actually surprised how big the business is. There's a lot of potential. I mean, we're talking to some of the Westbank teams, Westbank V8s. We have some international business. We are supplying the World Superbikes, World Supersports. We're also talking to one of the Formula One teams by now. And it's a very good base to be here and to produce the parts here.
Former champion Francois Gerber starts the first race in pole position ahead of Donovan ROSCOE, TILANUS, Neil Lobb and reigning champion George FERREIRA only down in 5th position, 1 second between the top 7.
It's been, can I say, a tough year for you?
Yeah, it's tough if you're on pole the first race and then everything falls apart at that meeting, and that being in Cape Town, which is my favourite circuit as well. And yeah, but it's been a long road crawling back, and eventually we did it. We basically did it without a sponsorship, so it's, yeah, if there's no sponsorship or no money involved, then it's quite difficult. But fortunately, we've got Auto House back from the next race. I just want to thank Toolshop for his support and everything that he's given us up till now. And we'll give him this pole position, and hopefully we can do the next one for Auto House in Kyalami.
So all set for round 9 of the Vodacom Sports Prototype Championship. Zwartkops still pretty cool. It's a cold winter's day and track temperature very low, so they may not get the grip that they need as they floor the pedals, and we are racing. Francois Gerber leads Donovan ROSCOE, TILANUS, Neil Lobb. They are under yellow for the first 2 corners, so they're not allowed to pass. That's to make sure that everybody gets through the first corners all in one piece. Down the very difficult hairpin as the whole field goes through without any problems, and they hit the long back straight. This is where they hit top speed in racing conditions. Francois Gerber, Donovan ROSCOE, TILANUS, Neil Lobb. There is George FERREIRA. Then comes Damien Frost as they go up towards Haviland Corner for the first time. That complex known as Sunset Boulevard. And Francois Gerber is holding station at the moment. Neil Lobb takes the inside line as he comes under pressure from George FERREIRA. Tyres are still cold, and Francois Gerber is a man who's struggling with gearbox problems. He had a problem in practice this morning, and let's hope it all stays together for him at the end of lap number 1. It is still Francois Gerber, former champion from Donovan ROSCOE, is going very well here today. TILANUS in 3rd position. There is Neil Lobb. Has been very strong so far this season. George FERREIRA in 5th position. He is under some serious pressure from the youngster in the field. That's Damien Frost. There is Dave Beattie, who's also going very strong here at Zwartkops. It's his home track. His car, along with that of Francois Gerber, being prepared by Johan Liebenberg right here at Zwartkops. So they know the track well, and they know exactly how to set up their cars. Saying that Francois Gerber had a problem with his gearbox in the morning. The car was jumping out of 2nd gear, and he had to change some gears in that gearbox, but all seems to be working well at the moment. The cars are very close as Damien Frost has a look down the inside of George FERREIRA. FERREIRA running on old tyres. He had his new tyres out last time at Port Elizabeth, so he's on old tyres, and that can be a factor in his performance today. That's Terry Voller in the DK Laminates car in the midfield battle, but the battle is up front for 2nd place as Donovan ROSCOE in the Optimum car is under some serious pressure from former South African Drivers' Champion TILANUS. TILANUS has made this year his championship year. That's his goal for the year, and he has got to get to the front. Further back in the field, watch out for Clive Kennelly. There he is in the yellow DK Woodcraft car. There is Richard Wood and Harry ROSCOE bringing up the rear. Lap 6 out of 15, and this battle at the front has had the crowd standing in their seats. It is still Francois Gerber, Donovan ROSCOE right up there behind his gearbox as they cross the start-finish line once again. Just hanging back a little bit is TILANUS, waiting for something to go wrong with the 2 front runners. And Gerber struggling, taking the inside line. He knows he's under pressure. Donovan Roscoe wants to get to the front. Bernard TILANUS is still right there, as is Neil Lobb. A great four-way battle for the lead. They are pulling away from the rest of the field. George FERREIRA struggling, and TILANUS has a look down the inside. Beautiful move. He caught out Donovan Roscoe, did not expect that move, and Roscoe is slowed down. He gives Neil Lobb a bit of a nudge, but he keeps it under control, and now Roscoe's got to defend from the attack by Neil Lobb. So great move there. That is experience from the old man in the field. Donovan Roscoe certainly caught absolutely unawares on that one, and now the two front runners are pulling well clear of the rest of the field. Still Francois Gerber, Bernard TILANUS, Donovan Roscoe, Neil Lobb, George FERREIRA, Damien Frost, they're all right there battling it out for third position at the moment. And the crowd really enjoying this great sports car race here at Zwartkops. It's a tricky circuit. You look at the layout, it doesn't look like it, but it keeps you very, very busy. You've got to concentrate on your racing line, on your braking points, through your gear shifts and your turning points. As Francois Gerber comes under pressure from Bernard TILANUS, who takes a look down the inside into the flat-out right-hand sweep. Not this time, says Francois. He saw him coming. And I wonder if TILANUS has not played his cards a little bit too early. But look at Donovan Roscoe. Donovan Roscoe takes a look down the inside of TILANUS, who takes the defensive line. So the battle is raging as Francois Gerber has a bit of a breathing space now. TILANUS lost a little bit of momentum there, and Neil Lobb is right there on the limit as well, as is George FERREIRA under some real pressure from Damien Frost. And here comes Dave Beattie as well. He's having one of his better races of his career, at least so far this season, the ex-motorcycle racer. And the battle at the front is hotting up as we get to the final stages of this race. Francois Gerber under some serious pressure from Bernard TILANUS and Donovan Roscoe. Neil Lobb is being pushed hard by George FERREIRA. He's struggling on that old tyres, and Lobb goes a little bit wide. Maybe this is the chance for FERREIRA. And here comes TILANUS again down the inside, and this time he forces himself through. A great move there by Bernard TILANUS. And here comes Donovan Roscoe as well. So poor old Francois Gerber was caught out there by Bernard TILANUS and loses so much momentum that he goes down from first to third in just one corner. This is great racing, and TILANUS is now exactly where he wants to be. And now Francois Gerber is going to have to look out for Neil Lobb, who is keen on taking away that third position of his as well. Now TILANUS and Roscoe are opening up a gap over Francois Gerber, Neil Lobb, George FERREIRA. Oh, and a spin there by Harry Roscoe. Harry Roscoe is making one of his few appearances in the VSP series. He's been in the wars. 2 laps to go, and still the battle at the front continues as Francois Gerber has dropped back but holds on to that third place. George FERREIRA still in fourth position, and now they're coming up to the back markers. Bernard TILANUS pulling away from Donovan Roscoe, whose father, Harry, is just up the road as they go into Haviland once again, into Sunset Boulevard. Called like that because of the setting sun, and Roscoe again going wide. Now he's going to be very careful not to block the race leader, and who knows, maybe he knows that his son is in second position, but I don't think he's going to do anything of that kind of thing. Moves over, leaves a bit of space there for Bernard TILANUS, who powers past, and here comes Donovan as well, goes past his old man into Vodacom corner. So the two-way battle continues as we are on the final lap, and is Bernard TILANUS going to take his fourth victory of the season? He's already won 3 times, and he's only got a few more corners to go. The crowd absolutely loving the action. Bernard TILANUS showing the youngsters exactly how to do it so far this season. Francois Gerber is still holding off George FERREIRA in fourth position, so it's a two-way battle for the lead. And then the two-way battle for third position. And into the final corner they go. Bernard TILANUS is going to take the first checkered flag of the day, score maximum championship points. He will be very pleased with that, even though he's been struggling with a sore hand after his car hit that of Dave Beattie earlier on this weekend in practice. Confirmation of the results. Bernard TILANUS takes it from Donovan Roscoe. Francois Gerber just barely hanging on to that third place. George FERREIRA will be happy with fourth, ahead of a very good performance by Dave Beattie.
Bernard, even with a battered and bruised hand, still a win.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. It started to come together after about the 4th, 5th laps. My tyres really started to work, and Francois was starting to oversteer and really struggling with the car. and I managed to get past and pull away. I did at one stage thought Donovan's dad was going to slow me up to let Donovan catch me, but no, he didn't. He got out the way quite quickly. And but yes, a very good race.
Well, his day is only getting better, isn't it? Bernard TILANUS will start in pole position for the second race. The way that they do the second race grid is the second best lap time during a qualifying session. So Bernard TILANUS leads the field from Donovan Roscoe, Neil Lobb in third, ahead of Francois Gerber. That's the way that they will remain through the first two corners. TILANUS, Roscoe, Lobb, then Gerber, George Ferreira, then Dave Beattie again up there in the top six. No problems into the hairpin. Another 15-lap action-packed race ahead of us. And TILANUS from Roscoe and Lobb are pulling away already as they go into the back straight for the first time. It's still pretty cold out there, although it is later in the race, and the grip levels will still be low. Track temperatures and tire temperatures not as high as they would like them to be. But look at this battle, the three-way battle already developing. So going to Haviland for the first time in this race. And TILANUS does not take the defensive line, as Donovan Roscoe has a bit of a look down the inside, but he's got to be careful. Neil Lobb is right there as well. Trevor Frost shooting down the inside of Alan Green and almost loses it in the process. He's got Richard Wood right there with him. And he takes away that 13th place as we come up to the end of lap 1 out of 15. Bernard TILANUS still leads from Donovan Roscoe, Neil Lobb in third, under pressure from Francois Gerber in fourth position. And then comes George Ferreira. Dave Beattie is also in the picture. There is Damien Frost and Alan Eve down in 8th position. No change in the order since the start of the race. As TILANUS goes into the hairpin once again, George Ferreira has a look down the inside of Francois Gerber. And that's the tighter line, and Gerber should get the better drive. Yes, he has. TILANUS breaking away. Donovan Roscoe defending. Neil Lobb, and here down the inside, hard on the brakes, Dave Beattie. Dave Beattie wants to take that position away from George Ferreira, who's lost momentum because of that move on Francois Gerber. And so he's under pressure. Damien Frost also down the inside as Neil Lobb looks at taking away that second position now. And Damien Frost just outbrakes himself into Haviland corner in front of the clubhouse, so he will drop a few positions in the process. Down towards turn 8, that's the final corner. And they'll start yet another lap, and the battle is on for second position as Bernard TILANUS pulls well clear. That is Donovan Roscoe from Neil Lobb. Lobb, who wants to get up front there as well. He's already had one victory so far this season. Lap 6, and Donovan Roscoe is closing in on race leader Bernard TILANUS. Go in front of the assembled guests at the clubhouse, the Vodacom Power Tour guests. And TILANUS is putting up a real great fight, as is Terry Voller, looking down the inside of Tony Cook. Everybody goes wide, still struggling with a grip here at Zwartkops. And further back, trouble for Clive Kennelly, also fighting his way up the field. He did not qualify on Friday because of time constraints and business commitments, and he's really not having a good weekend. At the front of the field, meanwhile, a huge gap has developed between Bernard TILANUS, Donovan Roscoe in second place, Neil Lobb, Francois Gerber. TILANUS well on his way to his second victory of the day. That should take him well up the order, in fact, into the lead in the championship, but let's not count our chickens. Dave Beattie is having one of the greatest races of his season so far as he goes down the inside of Francois Gerber. Great move there, absolutely out of the blue. And poor old Harry Roscoe once again in the wars. That's Neville Jordan from Vodacom pulling off the track, so obviously he's got some kind of a mechanical problem. Back to the front though, and Bernard TILANUS still holding that gap between him and Donovan Roscoe and Neil Lobb. This is Dave Beattie in fourth position. Great drive there. Francois Gerber under pressure from George Ferreira, who will not be happy with that situation after his result in the previous race. He's lost a lot of points to the likes of Bernard TILANUS, Neil Lobb and Donovan Roscoe, and he's doing the same again here. And the battle in the race is certainly not for the lead, as Bernard TILANUS ticks off one lap after another in the lead, keeping his eyes in his rearview mirrors, on his rev counters, making sure that he doesn't make any mistake, and just maintaining that gap. Further down the field, Terry Voller and Tony Cook in a gigantic battle for 8th position. And this has been one of the battles in the race as we get towards the final stages of round 10. Just 2 more laps to go in this race. Bernard TILANUS is certainly on his way to his second checkered flag of the day, but Donovan Roscoe is actually closing up on him. Neil Lobb is still there in third, and what a drive by Dave Beattie in fourth. George Ferreira is still putting pressure on Francois Gerber, who may be struggling with his gearbox again. As we said earlier on, he's had some gearbox problems so far, as has a number of other competitors on the tight and twisty and very demanding Zwartkops circuit. Donovan ROSCOE really closing in. Does Bernard TILANUS have some problems? Well, maybe he's just slowing down and making sure that he gets the car over the finish line in one piece. A little bit wide there. So tyres may be becoming a factor at the moment, and Donovan ROSCOE is certainly closing in. They've got one more lap to go. Will he be able to close in and pass the race leader? But this is Alan Eve under pressure from Tony Cook. Terry Voller is right there with him as well. It's a battle for 8th position. It's been a three-way battle for quite some time, and Alan Eve, who is under some serious pressure from the two cars behind him, is trying not to make any mistakes, as is this man. Our race leader, just a few more corners to go. Bernard TILANUS on his way to a double for the day, and Donovan ROSCOE has not been able to close that gap. A great drive by Bernard TILANUS, who will cement his position at the top of the point standings. Meanwhile, Donovan ROSCOE is still under some serious pressure from Neil Lobb, who dearly wants to take away that second position. So great drive, and the checkered flag is awaiting him, but there's contact between Tony Cook and Alan Eve. Terry Voller goes wide, Paul Keats goes through, and Alan Green will also go through. I'm sure that Alan Eve will not be happy with that maneuver at all. He rejoins, but the checkered flag is out for Bernard TILANUS, and that's the way they cross the line. TILANUS takes it from Donovan ROSCOE and Neil Lobb. A great battle there for second position. Dave Beattie gets a great result once again in 4th place ahead of Francois Gerber. Damien Frost goes into 6th after a final corner spin by George Ferreira, who gets that 7th place.
Donovan, nothing you could do about Bernard today?
Yeah, I think we ran different tyres, and I think hopefully for next Kalami race I'll be in better shape. But it was a good result. It's not good that I lost to Bernard. Second heat, the car was pretty much the same. Only thing is the second gear became further and further away in the gear linkage. Eventually, I couldn't engage it without doing more and more damage, and it just got worse and worse throughout the race. But Bernard didn't make any bad mistakes. He made one little mistake, but that was it, and he just drove a good race.
George, not the best of days.
No, I found out the circuit do need new tyres. I opted not to have new tyres because I used mine for PE. Obviously I had advantage there, and I paid the penalty here.
And a spin on the last corner.
Yes, I tried to take Francois, but he closed the door, and I thought, here we go. But luckily I just lost one position, so it's not too many points.